Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism by any means necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your big brother, Uncle Ifa Tunde. This is your big brother, Uncle Ifa Tunde, coming to you live and direct from the African diaspora, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Black History Month, year 95. Thursday, February the 10th. Before I get into my remarks tonight, I would like to give you an update on the intellectual insurrection tour. I want to offer my apologies right now to my Liberian African brothers and sisters. I want to offer my apologies right now to my Liberian African brothers and sisters. I was supposed to be with you for the upcoming bicentennial, 1822 to 2022, of the return to Liberia of newly freed, enslaved Africans in America who decided to quit America as soon as they got free and return home to Africa, choosing Liberia to do so. It was the first significant repatriation movement in modern history. And it was carried out by newly freed American Africans in slavery. Newly freed American Africans who decided to go back home. 1822, they arrived in Monrovia, Liberia, and decided to build up an independent nation for Africans in the diaspora who wanted to come home. So I want to salute all my Liberian Africans. I want to salute all my Liberian Africans, and I want to apologize to all of you for not being able to make it there next week. I'm sure it's going to be a magnificent bicentennial. This celebration captures the heart and the essence of what is revolutionary Pan-African nationalism. I've been to Liberia before, and I will once again be to Liberia again in the future. We had some issues with the flight ticket that could not be settled for whatever reason, and so I won't be making the journey, but I promise my Liberian Africans, I will be back in the future. 4 of the grandfathers of Pan-Africanism all went through Liberia. Henry Highland Garnett, who escaped from slavery in Maryland through FDMG Delaware, becoming one of the most revolutionary Pan-Africanists in American history. He's buried in Monrovia. John Brown Russworm from Jamaica. Garvey before Garvey, who published the first black newspaper out of New York, Freedom's Journal, with FDMG Delawarean Samuel Cornish in 1827. He's buried in Monrovia. Edward Wilmot Blyden from the Bahamas, St. Thomas, came through America, went to Liberia, became Secretary of State. Alexander Crummell, who went to the Free African School in New York with Henry Highland Garnett, became the father of black social work, the first black man to build an intellectual society for black men, gave 20 years of his life to Liberia public schools. Lost a daughter over there before coming back to help organize black men to fight for their freedom in the Civil War. So there is no Pan-Africanism without Liberia. There is no Pan-Africanism without Liberia. And due to the unfortunate, disappointing decision of the president of Ghana, shout out to all my Ghanaian Africans, shout out to all my Ghanaian brothers and sisters, but due to the disappointing decision of the president of Ghana to refuse entry to diasporan Africans to Ghana who did not take the white power structure's syrup, the president of Ghana has refused to allow Africans from the diaspora to come home to Ghana without the COVID vaccination. That was one of the worst decisions in the history of Pan-Africanism. So that means that the hub of Pan-Africanism has to go back from Ghana to Liberia. The hub of Pan-Africanism, it's been with Ghana since the days of Garveyite and Nkrumah. It's been with Ghana since the days of Garveyite and Nkrumah, but due to this ridiculous decision by the president of Ghana, who won't let us come home without a jab from Joe Biden. The president of Ghana will not let us come home unless we have a jab from Joe Biden. I said the president of Ghana will not let Africans from the diaspora go home unless we have a jab from Joe Biden. And because of that poor decision on behalf of Ghana's president, no disrespect to my Ghanaian Africans, no disrespect to my Ghanaian Africans, but because of that decision by the president of Ghana, we have to look at making Liberia once again the heart and soul of Pan-Africanism like it was. As it was before, so shall it be in the end. As it was before, so shall it be in the end. I want Africans to understand those words. When I say, as it was before, so shall it be in the end, I'm telling you that we are going to return to our greatness as a people. We have a divine destiny to reclaim our glory. But I want to be clear, brothers and sisters. I want to be clear. We will not reclaim our glory without working for that glory. We will not reclaim our glory unless we work for the glory. Religion has made us lazy. Religion has made us feel like we can sit back, click the remote control, and Almighty God is going to do the work for black people. And I'm here to tell you, if you believe that, if you believe that you can just kick back and waste all your money on junk and keep voting for the Democrats and do nothing about all the young men who are terrorizing our mothers and children in the community, indiscriminate murders of black by black. If you think you can just sit back, do nothing, and God is going to fix your problems for you, you have another thing coming. See, the reason our religion is so passive, black people belong to politically passive religions. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The American African's religious culture is extremely docile and passive. The American African's religious culture is extremely docile and passive. It don't matter if you Muslim. It don't matter if you Christian. It don't matter if you Jehovah Witness. It don't matter if you African traditionalist. American African religion is extremely docile. In fact, global African religion is extremely docile. Do you want to know why? Because in slavery, all you could do was pray. You weren't free to do anything else. In slavery, all you could do was pray. You wasn't free to do anything else. So when you became freed, the incarcerated consciousness followed you into freedom, and the same incarcerated consciousness that infected your religious behavior during slavery continues to affect your religious behavior 155 years after slavery. You've heard me say this before. You can take the slave out of slavery, but only the slave can take the slavery out of himself. You can take the slave out of slavery, but only the slave can take the slavery out of himself. First day of Black History Month. First day of Black History Month, we had some black church bomb threats. HBCU bomb threats. Yesterday, listen to this. Yesterday, February the 9th, the day of the ancestors. 9 is the ancestors. Yesterday, February the 9th, according to CNN, the Caucasian News Network, the Caveman News Network, according to CNN, another bomb threat was reported at an HBCU this week. Spelman College, historically black institution, received another bomb threat this week. And just days after, a round of threats rattled more than a dozen HBCUs. This was the third threat to the all-woman school this year. Did y'all hear that? Spelman has received 3 bomb threats. Spelman has received 3 bomb threats, and it prompted all classes to be canceled and a 4-hour campus lockdown on Tuesday. Following the series of HBCU bomb threats that started last month, the Southern Poverty Law Center hosted a roundtable with several HBCU leaders Tuesday to discuss recent attacks on their schools. Spelman was among at least 14 HBCUs that received bomb threats last week alone. Spelman was one of 14 HBCUs that received bomb threats last week. I'm scrolling. The FBI has identified suspects. The FBI has identified suspects and is investigating the incidents as a hate crime, but no arrests have been made. Interesting. Early last month, 6 HBCUs, Southern University and A&M, and I'll be speaking at Southern University Shreveport on Saturday, February the 20th. I will be speaking at Southern University Shreveport on Saturday, February the 20th. Howard University, Bethune-Cookman University, Albany State University, Bowie State University, and FDMG Delaware State University reported threats. Let me say this. Spelman received 3 threats in a month. Spelman received 3 threats in a month, but I haven't heard anything from the feminist organizations, black or white. Let me say it again. Spelman has received 3 threats in a month, and I've heard nothing from the feminist movement. Let me tell you why we haven't heard anything from the feminists about bomb threats against arguably the most prestigious black female university in the world. Founded by the Rockefellers. That's another conversation. Let's stay focused. Founded by the Rockefellers. That's another conversation. Let's stay focused. But with a black female university receiving 3 bomb threats in a month, I would think that the feminist groups would be up in arms to protect our little sisters at Spelman. I would think the feminist groups would be up in arms to protect our sisters at Spelman. But the reason we haven't heard from the feminazi, the reason the feminazi has been so quiet, is because the feminazi is another face of white supremacy whose job is not to protect black women. Breonna Taylor is not to protect black women. Sandra Bland, it's not to protect black women. The job of the feminazi, aka the feminist movement, is to destroy the public image in private lives of black men. I'm going to say it again. The feminist movement was created by the FBI to destroy the public image of black men and the private lives of black men. And that's why you never see the feminists come to the aid of black women. Never, never, never. When black women are killed, you don't see them. When black women are beat by the police, you don't see them. When black girls are threatened at a historically black university, you don't see them. The only purpose of the feminist movement is to destroy the public image of black men and the private lives of black men. Understand, overstand, understand. Understand, overstand, understand. Understand, overstand, understand. Now, the FBI has suspects, but haven't made no arrests. This is real interesting. If you have suspects, and if you've searched their homes and their hideouts, why have no arrests been made? Now, here's what I've been told. I've been told that the suspects are white young boys, white males. This is what I've been told. We have to find out, establish the facts. But I've been told that the suspects in the HBCU bomb threats are young white males, teenagers, who are making the threats. And I'm being told that the FBI are hiding and protecting these white boys because they don't want to charge them with federal hate crime. Because threatening to bomb a HBCU as a white boy is a hate crime. And we know America only wants to use hate crimes to charge black people with them. See, if you say something about the Rainbow Gang, you'll be charged with a hate crime. You say something about Anglo-Saxons, the people from Israel, you say something about any one of them groups, you get charged with a hate crime. You say something against the immigrants, the Chinese, the Mexicans, the Arabs, the Latinos, the Native Americans, you will be charged with a hate crime. But they only use the federal hate crimes was established to protect black folks. The greatest victims of hate crimes in this country is black folks. But if you look at the prosecution of federal hate crimes, it is overwhelmingly used against black folks. Lord have mercy. How can hate crimes be overwhelmingly charged against black folks? They do the same thing with Africa and International Criminal Court. In Africa with International Criminal Court, more African leaders have been prosecuted at International Criminal Court. Now, the British and the French and the Belgians and the Americans, they have raped and robbed and pillaged and committed assassinations and biochemical warfare all throughout Africa, but almost no white males have been prosecuted at International Criminal Court. Almost no white males have been prosecuted at International Criminal Court. They save it for black men. That's why I tell you, the word laws is an acronym. Legal arm of white supremacy. The word laws is an acronym. LAWS. Legal arm of white supremacy. They use it to destroy black folks. They use it to destroy black folks. So on the first day of Black History Month, we get started with more than a dozen HBCUs being threatened with bomb threats. Now, CNN had a town hall meeting with some HBCU presidents. CNN had a town hall meeting with some HBCU presidents. Here's my question to the HBCU leadership. Here's my question to the HBCU leadership. HBCU presidents, why are you not using this? The attention is on HBCUs right now because of the bomb threats. Why are you not using this to castigate President Joe Biden for cutting your money? Why are you not using this to expose the racist U.S. Congress for lumping our HBCUs under the same category with minority-serving universities and colleges? The HBCUs are no longer a protected entity. You have been lumped in. You have become the latest victim in the multicultural assault on the American African. The HBCUs are the latest casualty in the multicultural assault on the American African. You are now part of the minority serving colleges and institutions. Why are you not using this bomb situation to bring attention to the fact that the U.S. government is discriminating against the second oldest institution in Black America, and that is the college? The first is the church. The second is the college. The first is the church. The second is the college. Why are you not speaking up? And the reason you're not speaking up is most HBCU presidents are Black bourgeoisies. I'm just being honest. Most HBCU presidents are Black bourgeoisies. Let's just keep it real. They're not thinking about the best interests of the HBCU. You're not thinking about the future. You guys are glorying in the fact that you are the kings and queens of an underfunded, underoperated, racially discriminated against, historically Black institution. You're not doing nothing to raise the money except beg for more. Let me say that again. And there are exceptions to the rule. Without question, there are some exceptions to the rule, but most of you don't do anything to increase funding to your institution except beg for more. That's not a solution. Begging white people for money is not a solution. I keep trying to tell the reparations people this, and I support reparations, but begging is not going to get you reparations. Begging has never, if you can show me one instance where begging has gotten anything done for Black folks around the world, I want you to show me. In Africa, we begged the French to get out of Senegal. We begged the French to get out of Benin, Togo. We begged the French to get out of all the French-speaking countries, all the Francophone. But they didn't leave until war was declared. We begged the British to get out of South Africa. We begged the British to get out of Ghana. We begged the British to get out of Kenya. We begged the British to get out of Malawi. But nobody left until war was declared. Three things every HBCU should be doing. Three things every HBCU should. Number one, a bank. Every HBCU should have a bank. All of your students should be required to put their money in your bank. I'm going to say it again. Every HBCU should have a bank or a credit union. All students are required to deposit their savings into the HBCU bank. Number two, every HBCU should have a grade school. I don't care if it's charter. I don't care if it's private. I don't care if it's parochial. You need a grade school to do what? You can make money off the tuition. Y'all have the facilities. Every HBCU has a building they're not using. Let me say it again. Every HBCU has a building they're not using. Some of them have multiple buildings that they're not using. So if you have all this institutional space, open up a grade school. K to 12, open up a grade school, and the students will graduate from your grade school and they will naturally become freshmen in your university. Stop complaining about retention of Black students. HBCU presidents, stop complaining about retention of Black students. Stop complaining that the PWIs are stealing all the freshmen. Stop complaining that the PWIs are stealing all the freshmen. If you need more Black freshmen, open up a grade school and make attendance at the grade school contingent. Make attendance at the grade school contingent on attending your university. There goes your retention problem out the window. Your retention problem is solved overnight if you will open up a grade school. Do we really want solutions? Do we really want solutions, or are we just in love with being victims? Because a lot of us have relished in the victim consciousness. A lot of us don't want to be free. We don't want liberation because freedom comes responsibility. With freedom comes accountability. You don't want accountability. You want to be able to complain, complain, complain. Victim consciousness is the biggest cancer in the Black community. I said victim consciousness is the biggest cancer in the Black community. I remember when we started raising money for FDMG. People said, oh man, Doc, you'll never be able to find a school. Brother, you can't do that. Black people ain't got no money. You ain't gonna be able to get no money to get no school. Come on, brother. Just open up a charter school. Brother, we ain't got it. But we got 4 buildings we working on right now. We got 4 buildings that we're working on now. If I allowed myself to be co-opted by victim consciousness, I would have never tried. This is why you have to stay away from Negroes who don't think we can't do nothing. Get away from those type of people. I don't want them nowhere around me. If you are a Black person who believes we can only fix our problem with white saviors, if you believe that the only way we can fix our problem is with white saviors, I don't want you around me. Part of being a revolutionary is being a revolutionary optimist. Part of being a revolutionary is being a revolutionary optimist. You have to believe we can achieve. If you don't believe we can achieve, don't call yourself an activist, don't call yourself a revolutionary, and you better not damn sure call yourself a Pan-Africanist. I said, if you don't believe we can achieve, don't call yourself an activist, don't call yourself a revolutionary, and you better damn not call yourself a Pan-Africanist. Because the P in Pan-Africanism means progressivism. The P in Pan-Africanism means forward progress. In the words of Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the liberator of Ghana. In the words of Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the liberator of Ghana, he said, forward ever, backward never. Forward ever, backward never. I have no patience for victim consciousness Negroes. Every HBCU needs a bank. Every HBCU needs a grade school. Every HBCU needs a community farm and garden. Every HBCU needs a community farm and garden. Every HBCU needs a community farm and garden, and every HBCU needs a small business development incubator. Every HBCU should be about the business of building a Black Wall Street around it. Every HBCU should be about the business of building a Black Wall Street around it. Every HBCU should be about the business of building a Black Wall Street around it. If you are HBCU president and you ain't got no bank or credit union and you ain't trying to get one, you ain't got no grade school or charter school and you ain't trying to get one, you ain't got no community garden to feed our people fresh food from Mother Earth, all that land around the HBCU, most of you are A&Ms, many of you are A&Ms, and even those of you who are not A&M, you still have an A&M aspect to your curriculum, and you're not growing food. You're not raising our own cattle, fresh beef and chicken. You're not doing fresh fish for the people. You're not doing that. What good are you? What good are you? What good are you? HBCUs, school, bank, community farm and garden, and a small business entrepreneurial incubator to build a Black Wall Street around you. Because the Joe Biden plan for the HBCU, the Donald Trump plan for the HBCU, the Barack Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton plan for the HBCU is to close you all down. Oh, they want to close you all down. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes. If I am the first to tell you, let me say this. If I am the first to tell you, let me say this. Part of The extermination, marginalization, and mass incarceration of black people is contingent upon the demise of the HBCU. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. I said part of the plan to exterminate, marginalize, and mass incarcerate the American African is to destroy the HBCU. Yes. Why? What does the HBCU have to do with turning black people into a permanent underclass? I will tell you. The HBCU is responsible in many states for no less than 40% of the black professionals. I'm going to say it again. The HBCU, and this is why we must support the HBCU. This is why we must support the HBCU. 40% of the black professionals in this country would not exist. Would not exist. The HBCU has single-handedly held down 40% of the black professionals in this country. That's why they want to destroy you. Every HBCU that gets closed, every HBCU that loses its accreditation, shout out to Morris Brown. I heard Morris Brown coming back. Shout out to Morris Brown. I heard Morris Brown coming back. Shout out to Morris Brown College. I heard Morris Brown is on the way back. And I will say this to the chancellor, to the dean, to the president, to the board, to the VP for academic affairs or the VP for student affairs. If you need a professor of history, politics, education, special education, Pan-Africanism, I'm willing to teach for free. I'm willing to teach for free. Let's get Morris Brown back up and running. I need one building on that campus for FDMG Atlanta. I just need one of those buildings on Morris Brown's campus for FDMG Atlanta. I said, give me one building on Morris Brown's campus so I can build FDMG Atlanta. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Brothers and sisters, Umar Locke, 22 years old, assassinated by the Minneapolis Police Department on the second day of Black History. First day of Black History, they threatened our HBCUs. Second day of Black History, the Minneapolis police, the bloodthirsty Minneapolis police, kill another black man. This black man, this young brother, this child, 22, was licensed to carry. I believe he was in his cousin's home, sleeping on the couch, minding his damn business with his license to carry gun, legally armed. He was legally armed. Somebody comes into the house unannounced. Police never like to announce themselves. Nobody's doing nothing about it. Police never like to announce themselves with these no-knock warrants. Somebody comes into your house. What do you normally do? What is the first reaction if someone comes in your home? You draw your weapon. He was licensed to carry, legal weapon holder. He drew his weapon and they took his life. Same thing they did to Breonna Taylor. Same thing they did to Breonna Taylor. Going into people's homes without permission, killing them because they're trying to defend themselves. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Rest in peace to Umar Locke. Condolences to his family, friends, the whole Minneapolis community. We stand in solidarity with you. I don't know what it is about Minneapolis. I don't know what it is about Minneapolis. You done had Dante, right, I believe. You done had George Floyd. Philando Castile, I believe, was St. Paul. And now you got Umar Locke. So if those of you who thought the conviction of the cop who murdered George Floyd would slow down the police, you have lost your mind. For you Negroes out there who thought the conviction of one cop was somehow going to stop the Gestapo assault on the black community by America's police, you are out of your mind. The George Floyd case has changed nothing. And why did it not? Go back to what Dr. Umar been teaching you for the last 20 years. Why hasn't the George Floyd case? Derek Chauvin is in jail. Why does it not matter? Derek Chauvin is in jail. Why does it not matter? Because Derek Chauvin's conviction was about one white supremacist, not the system of white supremacy. Derek Chauvin's conviction was about one police officer, not the system of policing. Derek Chauvin's conviction was about one privileged white male, not the entire system of privileged white male. I keep telling you, Negroes. Y'all don't listen. I keep telling y'all, Negroes. Justice is not served on individuals. Justice is served on systems. Let me say it again. Justice is not served on individuals. Justice is served on systems. When Barack Obama let those men out of prison right before he got out of jail, mostly white, but some black. Mostly white, but some black. Y'all tried to lie and say he let a whole bunch of black people out. There was mostly white folks. But when Obama did that, I asked you all a question. What does that do for mass incarceration? I never got an answer. You know why I never got an answer? Because it does nothing for mass incarceration. He changed no laws. He changed no policies. All he did was let a few people out so politically miseducated Negroes will think the system is changing because a few people got a pardon. Lord have mercy. America locks up more people than any other country in the world, mostly black. And you think because he let a few people out of jail the day before he left office, that meant some sort of change. Derek Chauvin gets convicted, and because one cop goes to jail, you think that means justice for the whole system. Just so y'all know, I'm silently blocking coons. I'm silently blocking coons. Adrian King, Obama is the reason why cops are wearing body cams. Question Adrian King. You said Obama is the reason cops are wearing body cams. Adrian King, and what difference has the body cam made? Adrian King, what difference has the body cam made? I'm asking a question. Because when Obama got the body cams pushed through, you Negroes act like that was that was going to save black folks. Oh, the cops got to wear cameras, so you know more of them are going to go to jail. Bull crap. Bull crap. They turn the cameras off. They delete the footage. And even when we see what they did, like with our brother Amir Locke on February the 2nd, even when we see what they did, like with our brother Amir Locke on February the 2nd, they still get off scot-free. Derek Chauvin was caught on camera and he still had to go to trial. What is there a trial about? He choked George Floyd to his death with a knee on his neck, and we still got to take this to trial. Lord have mercy. They didn't even arrest the man for days. Lord have mercy. And you would have talked to me about a body cam. See, Negroes like y'all are the reason slavery lasted 400 years instead of 200 years. Negroes like y'all are the reason slavery lasted 400 years instead of 200 years. See, y'all don't want to hear me say this, but I'm going to say it again. Y'all don't want to hear me say this, but I'm going to say it again. Black America will never get justice until Black America has power. Let me say it again. Lord have mercy. Garvey, you're talking to me, Garvey. You're talking to me, Garvey. I'm going to say it again. You're talking to me, Garvey. Black America will never get justice until Black America gets power. Black America will never get justice until Black America gets power. Lord have mercy. Let me say it one more time. for Negroes who think voting is going to fix this. Let me say it one more time for Negroes who think marching is going to fix this. Let me say it one more time for Negroes who think prayer alone is going to fix this. You will never get justice until you get power. Let me say it again. Y'all didn't hear me. Black America will never get justice until you have power. And the only way you can have power is through organization. It's through organization. If you do not organize, power is in organization. Political power means you're politically organized. Economic power means you're economically organized. Black folks don't want to organize, but they want justice. Let's see how long you wait for that. Let's see how long you wait for that. You want justice, but you don't want to get organized. Let's see how long you be waiting for justice. You must organize yourself to build power. And once you have power, you can use it to force justice. Dr. King didn't beg. Dr. King organized. He used the power of the people. What did Fred Hampton say? What did Huey P. Newton say? What did Bobby Seale say? All power to the people. Where there's people, there's power. Where there's black people, there's black power. But you got to organize the people. Y'all want police accountability with no power. Y'all want public schools to get better. No power. Have you not realized every enemy we have is organized? Do you not realize every opposition we fight is organized? The teachers are organized. You're not. That's why the schools are not going to change. The police are organized. You're not. That's why policing is not going to change. The government is organized. You're not. That's why everybody is getting laws and resources except you. You refuse to accept the fact that you are in the condition you are in because you choose to stay there. Lord have mercy. I wish I was born in Nat Turner time. I wanted to be with Nat. I wish I was there with Toussaint and Dessalines. I wish I was there with King and Garvey. I wish I was there with Medgar and Malcolm. I wish I was there with John Huggins and Al Prentice Bunchy Carter. I wish I was there with the Honorable Patrice Emery Lumumba and Kwame Nkrumah and Sekou Touré. I wish I was there with Dedan Kamathi and Robert Sobukwe and Chris Hani and Steve Biko. I wish I was there with Fannie Lou Hamer and Ida B. Wells and Sojourner and Harriet. I wish I was with them because they understood. They understood. They understood you can't get change without power. You can't get justice without power. And if you're going to apply power, you must be organized. Black church is not trying to organize black people. Congressional Black Caucus is not trying to organize black people. The black fraternities and sororities, Divine Nine, I love you, but you bourgeoisies, y'all not trying to organize black people. Community-based organizations are not trying to organize black people. The NAACP, the Urban League, are not trying to organize black people. Al Sharpton, no disrespect, but Al respectfully is an ambulance chaser. Al Sharpton goes where the attention is. He puts attention on a matter which has benefit. There's benefit to Al Sharpton showing up and making sure the cameras is on the issue. I applaud Reverend Sharpton for that. But where Reverend Sharpton loses me and why he cannot be considered a leader, although he can be considered an activist of some sort, he cannot be considered a leader, but he can't be considered an activist of some sort because a leader has an agenda and a plan for change, and he sticks to it until the war is won. Al Sharpton has no agenda for change. He just chases the emergencies, the casualties, and the tragedies. Al Sharpton chases the emergencies, the tragedies, and the casualties. No disrespect. I respect my elder. I respect the National Action Network. No disrespect, but this is a political science class. When I talk, I'm holding political science re-Africanization class. That's what this is. Political science re-Africanization class. Al Sharpton is only around when there's a tragedy, a casualty, and an emergency. When it's over and the check is cut, he is gone. No disrespect to Benjamin Crump. No disrespect to Benjamin Crump. But let me see. When was our brother Trayvon Martin taken from us? Rest in paradise. Let me go to Trayvon. When did they take Trayvon from us? Trayvon Martin was murdered on February the 26th of 2012. Rest in paradise. Condolences to the family. I spoke with his father on the phone many years ago. He was going to invite me to an event, but I don't think the dates lined up. February the 26th of 2012, Trayvon was taken from us. This February the 26th is 10 years of Benjamin Crump running around the country, getting death checks for families. I'm not going to knock you. They are entitled to that money because no amount of money will bring their loved one back. I'm not going to knock Benjamin Crump. Okay? The families are entitled to that money, and no amount of money is going to bring the loved one back. But after you get the death check, how about hanging around for some justice? How about fighting for some systemic changes? Last time I checked, the George Floyd Police Reform and Accountability Act has not passed Congress. Last time I checked, the George Floyd Police Accountability and Reform Act has not passed Congress. So Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton, when are y'all going to take some buses to D.C. and protest outside the Congress, protest Congressional Black Caucus, protest Joe Biden, protest the Department of Justice? When are y'all going to do something besides get in front of a camera and get some money for dead people? That's what I want to know. Get your money. I'm not trying to stop your money, but where is the justice? Because in case you ain't been paying attention, white America doesn't care too much about the settlement money. White America doesn't care too much about the settlement money for police assassinations. They care more about police not being held accountable. I'm going to say it again. Y'all not been paying attention. You have not been paying attention. White America does not care as much about the death checks as they do about police not being held accountable. They will kill all of us if all they got to do is give us a couple $1 million. They will kill all of us if all they have to do is give us a couple $1 million, because the American money isn't worth anything. The US dollar is a promissory note. It is not exchangeable for any mineral value. The US dollar is not exchangeable for any mineral value. So if they got to kill every black person in America and give us $5 million, they will do it. They will do it, brothers and sisters. One second here. One second here. One second here. One second here. Do y'all remember when a black man killed a white woman in Minneapolis? Do y'all remember on July 15th of 2017, a black officer accidentally murdered a white woman? Rest in peace to her. No disrespect to the family. Death is death. But I'm trying to understand how this man went to jail. He went to jail with the quickness. There was no TV coverage, nothing like that. They got $20 million for that. But on average, the white police victims are getting paid 3 times as much as the black ones. Now, she may have not got as much as George Floyd family because the attention placed on George Floyd and the protests that it generated. So she probably didn't get as much as George Floyd's family. But on average, the white victims of police execution get 3 times as much money as the black ones do. But getting back to my point, no power, no justice. That means you will organize or you will die. It's that simple. It's that simple. You will organize and you will die. Let me say this, and then I want to go to Joe Biden's $20 million for crack pipes. Let me say this, and then I want to go right to Joe Biden's $20 million for crack pipes. Let me say this, and then I'm going to go right to Joe Biden's $20 million budget to put clean crack pipes in the black community. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. When will my people get off the Democratic Party plantation? When will my people get off the Democratic Party plantation? First of all, Jackson, Mississippi. If you live in Mississippi, if you live in Mississippi, if you live in Mississippi, I will likely be in Jackson. I will confirm Monday. If you live in Mississippi, I will likely be in Jackson at the African Art Gallery, 800 North Farish Street, Jackson, Mississippi, Mega Ever City, African Art Gallery, 800 North Farish Street on Thursday, February the 17th. That is 1 week from today, Mississippi. That is 1 week from today, Mississippi. That is 1 week from today, Mississippi. I will confirm by Monday, but I'm going to try to hit up Jackson because I haven't been there in years on my way to Shreveport. If you live in Louisiana, I will be speaking at the State of Shreveport, which will be held at Southern University in Shreveport on Saturday, February the 19th. So you have Jackson, Mississippi on Thursday, February the 17th. You have Shreveport, Louisiana on Saturday, February the 19th. And then let's go to South Carolina and Florida. And then let's go to South Carolina and Florida. Savannah, Georgia. I've only been to you one time. Savannah, Georgia. I've only been to you one time. Savannah, Georgia. Wednesday, February 23rd, Savannah, Georgia. Wednesday, February 23rd, Savannah, Georgia. Let's go to Jacksonville, Florida. Let's go to Jacksonville, Florida. Let's go to Jacksonville, Florida, Thursday, February the 24th. So we got Shreveport in Jackson, Mississippi, Shreveport, Louisiana, and Jackson, Mississippi on the 17th and 19th. And then we got Savannah, Georgia, and Jacksonville, Florida on the 23rd and 24th. And that's how we're going to close out Black History Month. Dirty South, Mid-South, East Coast South, Dirty South, Jackson, Mississippi, Shreveport, Louisiana, Savannah, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida, King Kong. All events. Jackson is free. Savannah is free. Jacksonville, Florida is free. Shreveport, I think there is a charge. I will confirm all information on Monday. Please hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Please hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Please hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Please hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Please hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Mark your calendar, second annual festival, September 10. Mark your calendar, second annual FDMG festival, September the 10th. Let's talk about Joe Biden's crack pipe. Let's talk about Joe Biden's crack pipe. Let's talk about Joe Biden's crack pipe. The news went crazy the other day. Shreveport, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, Savannah, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida. Text me Monday for the details. Text me Monday for the details. 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Joe Biden has allocated $20 million for new crack pipes to be brought into the black community so the chemically addicted brothers and sisters can have a clean high. Let me say it again. $20 million for crack pipes so addicts can get high safe. And he's doing it in the name of racial equality. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. And you Negroes still won't get off the Democratic Party plantation. You Negroes still won't get off the Democratic Party plantation. You Negroes still will not get off the Democratic Party plant. $20 million for crack pipes. Do you know how racist that is? Do you know how insulting that is? Do you know how disrespectful that is? Do you know how throwback Joe that is? You mean to tell me that the same man who engineered the 1994 Bill Clinton crime bill, the same man who engineered the 1994 Bill Clinton crime bill, locking you up for drugs, comes back 30 years later, 28 years, but I'm gonna round it off. He comes back 30 years later after he'd locked up more black men in history. He comes back 30 years later, and now he's going to give you $20 million to distribute crack pipes through the black community, and you Negroes still don't believe the CIA brought crack into the neighborhood. Y'all still don't believe Freeway Ricky Ross. Y'all still don't believe Freeway Ricky Ross. Joe Biden is going to give you brand new crack pipes with a U.S. government stamp on them. You can get a crack pipe with a U.S. government stamp from the President of the United States, but you can't get no school. You can't get no job. You can't get out of jail. You can't put a stop to police genocide. You can't reverse gentrification. You can't do nothing about economic apartheid, but you can get a crack pipe from Crazy Joe with a government stamp on it. You know why this is so sad? $20 million is at least 2 or 3 small schools, brand new schools for our children. $20 million, that's at least 200 jobs, well-paying jobs. Why not take that money and put black men to work? Why not take that money and get these homeless black people off the street? Why not take that money and build black businesses? Why not take that $20 million and open up some institutions? But you want to spend $20 million on crack pipes. And check this. Check this. I haven't heard the Congressional Black Caucus say one word about it. I haven't heard the Congressional Black Caucus say one word about it. I haven't heard the Congressional Black Caucus say one word about $20 million for crack pipes. If you're going to give out the crack pipe, that means you have to make sure they have crack to smoke. Understand, understand, overstand. Understand, understand, overstand. If you're going to give $20 million for crack pipes, do you know what that means? That means that you have to guarantee that they're going to get some crack to smoke with the pipe. Because there must be a demand for the supply. So if Crazy Joe is guaranteeing black folks $20 million worth of crack pipes, he must also be guaranteeing you $100 million worth of crack. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have, if you're going to guarantee me a pipe, that means you know something I don't know. If you can put $20 million in crack pipes out in the hood, doesn't that mean Crazy Joe must know that he got $100 million worth of new crack coming into the ghetto? I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to take it a step further because we're in the age of chemical warfare. We're in the age of chemical warfare. We're in the age of biochemical warfare. COVID, biochemical warfare. AIDS, biochemical warfare. Cancer, biochemical warfare. Omicron, biochemical warfare. Delta variant, biochemical warfare. We're in the age of biochemical warfare. So if Joe Biden is going to spend $20 million on crack pipes, $20 million on crack pipes in the name of racial equality, Lord have mercy. How disrespectful can you be? How disrespectful. He said, I'm not going to give you real estate equality. I'm not going to give you political equality. I'm not going to give you economic equality. I'm not going to give you educational equality, but I will give you crack pipe equality. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I'm not going to give you economic equality. I'm not going to give you political equality. I'm not going to give your children academic equality, but I will make sure you have an equal number of crack pipes that you can smoke. Stay with me. Is it possible that they're giving out those crack pipes? Is it possible that they're giving out those crack pipes? Is it possible that they're giving out those crack pipes because they got a special shipment of crack coming to the black community that's going to devastate our chemically addicted brothers and sisters and put they damn lights out? Listen to me. The crack pipes is a setup. It is a setup for a mass biochemical warfare campaign against the undesirables. Oh, yes. Think about it. Think about it. Let's think about it. Who cares about the homeless drug addicts? Let's think about it. Who cares about the prostitutes selling themselves for drugs? Who cares about the black community? Don't care about them. Black church don't do nothing for them. Barack Obama didn't care about them. All he talked about was middle class. All he kept saying was middle class. They let white folks know he wasn't talking about black people. Middle class was Barack Obama's code word for non-Negro Americans. Middle class was Barack Obama's code word for non-Negro Americans. Middle class was Barack Obama's code word for non-Negro Americans. Nobody cared about the black homeless. And by the way, black people are suffering homelessness in record levels right now. COVID and the loss of jobs and the setback of the economy, more black people are unemployed and homeless than in a long time. So all these homeless people are getting high to cope with their new lifestyle. All these newly homeless black people are getting high to cope with the stress of their new lifestyle. And your president ain't going to get them a job. Your president ain't going to get them a house. Your president ain't going to get them no real treatment. Instead, he's going to send them some new crack pipes. And I believe that the government has a new shipment. I believe the government has a new shipment of crack that is going to have a special configuration, a chemical variant in the new shipment of crack that's going to flood the ghetto. I ain't been wrong yet. I ain't been wrong on a prediction in 20 years. I'm the most politically accurate predictor you know. I ain't got it wrong yet. I'm telling you right now, they're going to put the crack pipes out. They're going to push a whole new variant of crack, a type of crack we ain't seen. This new crack you about to get from the CIA, this new crack you about to get from the CIA is going to be unlike nothing you saw, and it's going to knock these brothers and sisters right on their ass. It's going to knock them right on their ass. 20 million for the pipes, a whole new fresh set of dope, a whole new fresh shipment of dope. They're going to flood the black community with dope like they did during the era of the Black Panthers. They're going to flood the black community with dope like they did during the era of the Black Panthers. One of the reasons the CIA brought the crack in the 1980s was to make sure they decimated and destroyed the last legacy of the Black Power, Black Panther liberation, and the support that they received from the community. Let us be clear. The black community is still suffering the impact of the 1980s, 1990s, 2000, 2010, 2020 crack epidemic. We are still real. We have not caught our balance since we got hit with that right hand of crack in the 1980s. And now they're about to hit us with a whole new level of crack. Brothers and sisters, we better get ready. Brothers and sisters, we better get ready. They're not playing with us. This is the setup for the setback. I cannot believe the Congressional Black Caucus, the Urban League, the NAACP, the Divine Nine, the black churches, the community-based groups. I don't hear nobody protesting $20 million for clean government-issued crack pipes in the ghetto in the name of racial equality. Lord have mercy. And you are still on the Democratic Party plantation. You are still on the Democratic Party plantation. Listen to this. Listen to this. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration is now accepting applications for the first ever harm reduction grant program. We will issue $30 million in grants. This funding, authorized by the American Rescue Plan, will help increase access to a range of community harm reduction services. Y'all hear that? Harm reduction services. If you want to reduce harm, give us some damn jobs. You want to reduce harm? Get people off the street. You want to reduce harm? Give people a house. That's how you reduce harm, not giving out crack pipes. Let's continue. As they work to help prevent overdose deaths, reduce health risks associated with drug use, we will accept applications from state, local, tribal, and territorial governments. With overdose deaths exceeding 100,000 over a 10-month period for the first time, this funding opportunity will provide support for those working in communities to reduce the harm of drug use. Providing funding and support for innovative harm reduction is in line with the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration's ongoing effort to address the overdose epidemic. Wow. We're going to deal with drug addiction by giving you more access to drugs. Can I ask you guys a question? Do you not get arrested for possession of any amount of crack? Didn't Joe Biden write a law in 1994, the Bill Clinton crime bill, that arrests you for any amount of crack? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. The police catch you with crack, they can arrest you with any amount of the illegal substance. So if you can go to jail for possessing crack, I'm absolutely serious, Sister Lanisa Turner. Go to what is it? HHS.gov and read it for yourself. Go to HHS, Health and Human Services.gov, G-O-V. You know the website. Go check it out. But here's what I'm saying. If you can go to jail for possession of any amount of crack, if you get a pipe from Joe Biden and the police roll up on you while you smoking crack and the police catch you with the crack, don't you still go to jail? Are you exempt from going to jail if you smoke crack with Joe Biden's pipe? I'm asking y'all a question. Are you exempt from going to jail if you smoke crack with Joe Biden's pipe? Because if you are not exempt from going to jail for smoking crack with Joe Biden's government-issued crack pipe, that means Joe Biden is setting you up to go to jail. I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a question. If you can go to jail for possession of crack and Joe Biden is giving you a crack pipe, is he not aiding and abetting in criminal behavior? Is Joe Biden, the president of the United States, so-called leader of the free world, is he not aiding and abetting criminal activity by giving you a government-issued crack pipe to smoke and illegal substances? Where the black lawyers at? Where the black lawyers at? Where are the black lawyers at? Can Joe Biden be charged with aiding and abetting criminal behavior and drug activity and drug possession and drug use by giving out crack pipes in the black community? Can he be charged as an accomplice? Is he not guilty of aiding and abetting? It's a setup. They're about to devastate us again. They already got COVID. They already got COVID. They already got COVID. Now they say, how many more can we knock off the box? Because the drug addicts ain't going to get no flu shot. The drug addicts are not going to get no flu shot. Homeless people ain't thinking about no damn Omicron vaccination. Homeless people ain't thinking about no damn Omicron vaccination. So how do we kill off all the poor, homeless, drug-addicted black people in America's cities as part of our gentrification? Remember, all systems of white supremacy are coordinated and collaborated. All systems of white supremacy are coordinated and collaborated. All systems of white supremacy are coordinated and collaborated. So if they're trying to take back the ghetto, they want to get all the homeless people out. How do you get rid of people who don't have a home? How do you get rid of people who don't have a home? You kill them off. You kill them off. A new crack epidemic is coming to Black America, something like you never seen before. You better get ready. And we are still disorganized. What did I tell you? You need power to get justice. You need power to get justice. You need power to get justice, and you can't get power without organization. Jackson, Mississippi, next Thursday, African Art Gallery. Shreveport, Louisiana, next Saturday, Southern University in Shreveport. Savannah, Georgia, Wednesday the 23rd, location coming soon. Jacksonville, Florida, Thursday the 24th, location coming soon. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism, and it is time to understand, overstand, and understand. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism, Peace and Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism by any means necessary. Black power.